Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make some testics.
Brilliant. Right, and we're alive. Welcome to part 9 of building the UCS Falcon from 2007. I'm joined on call by that guy. That it's the guy from who's on TikTok streams and does other stuff that he does. So yeah, 1 second, and we'll start.
I get banned on TikTok.
I'm not hungry enough.
I mean, actually, that's more of a Lucas's thing, not mine. Don't buy things.
I leave that one out.
I won't get banned. Good. Not worth it.
So yeah, he's joining me on this. I would have got him as a guest, but the software that we're using for this doesn't work too well. It's a bit like how when I wanted to do the TikTok live streams, I couldn't just go on TikTok website, sign in. I had to go download TikTok Live Studio and do things I didn't want to do. Well, this is basically the same idea. More things I can't be bothered doing. Plus, I'm still trying to figure out the software. But anyway, part 9. So the basic framework is done. I'm actually going to show you just now, Colin Brooks. That's where it'll sit. So I kept getting questions about that.
Oh my god, it was 0 of a hat.
No, the size of this thing, just take the perspective. Here's a minifigure. This is a set, right, that I have seen pictures of for years in the books and on reviews, and it's one of those ones you never understand how big it is till you've got it. Like, the size of that set is like, at one point I questioned, is this too big? And I finally found the Lego set that I think is too big. But then again, right, see, before I bought that, which again, I bought purely on the chance that there was a one for sale within my budget, I was going to buy a UCS Super Star Destroyer, which I still might at some point, because that is a good set. But yeah, your Bounty Hunter Pursuit might win the next vote because Lucas's set that he kept voting for had won and is built on the shelf, so he can't do that anymore. He can't spam me to do the 06 Star Destroyer.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Don't shit in this book, by the way.
I may well. Oh, I've got the book for the Jedi Duel from that year, and it's exactly the same. In fact, mine. I don't know if you got any. Did you get the original posters or anything like that with yours?
I don't think
that. I got a poster with the Yoda versus Dooku set. That one up there. It's a poster up the back. It kind of says Lego Star Wars 2002 on it. I just thought it'd be perfect behind all this kind of stuff here. I also got these lights that I put in. Check this.
AW.
You got a light. I'm going to put a couple more in the back, but you got to light up the UCS Falcon.
Most Isley shit right there.
Yeah. So basically, all that's left to do is the top part of the cockpit needs done and the tunnel for it, and all the most of the paneling. Like, yeah, there probably was room for them to put an interior, but back then this was like one of the first UCS sets to have figures, which was a big deal. They didn't even give them figures for a while, which makes sense. They're not play sets. I've seen a lot of people online complaining about them not having interiors. Are you telling me you're going to open up your giant wobbly Lego set, right, that is too heavy to move and play with its inside? Are there people seriously doing that?
Yeah.
I think those people might be dumb. Controversial. No, I mean like as in, you know the really, really big UCS sets? People play with those apparently. I'm like, the people that can afford them sure as hell ain't playing with them because I guarantee you it's adults. Also, if you try, I have anxiety picking up that Falcon. So you're not going to see me swishing that around my room anytime soon.
You won't see him, but you'll definitely see me. I'll come over with my Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Funny, I'll give you a fun fact, right? See the minifigure for Chewbacca. The Chewbacca minifigure, and I'm not joking when I say this, I'll show you. Chewbacca's the only figure in this set. What?
Is it Is it like
It's the original mold Chewbacca, and I'll give you a fun fact about the figure. He's the only figure in this set that comes with an accessory, and his accessory is a Lego minifigure head with the smiley face.
Rancor pet?
I have that, and it is a brilliant set.
7520.
I remember that set, right, when it came out, got some hate, and now it's like one of them valuable sets.
Look at this guy right here. Z95 Headhunter. Fuck you, Pong.
That is a good set. It's all right. Pong Krell, and by the way, just keep Pong Krell is not the worst character in the Clone Wars. Season 7 changed that. Season 7, and without like going into detail, like keep it YouTube friendly, basically, yeah. Disney somehow made a worse character than Pong Krell. Well done. And the bit of dislike that people had for Pong Krell back in what, 2012 when that arc aired?
I went on an adventure yesterday just to get this.
You did. For that.
Tesco and had it, so then I went to Marsden's.
Again, when you initially brought that up to me, I thought you were joking.
And then when someone else that I know, since there was 2 left, they came all the way there just to get it as well.
I mean, I don't really buy stuff like that, but see that guy that recently died, the singer that died recently, Ozzy Osbourne. I tried to go to the concert as that he done 2 weeks before that, but I wasn't able to get tickets. I'm raging now. So I'm like, well, he's not going to do another one.
Gee, I wonder why.
In all fairness, it's kind of obvious because, like, in all his other stage performances, he was the kind of guy that would be all around the stage, but because of what was wrong with him, he was basically sat in the throne the whole time. Like that, he's famous for the fact that he allegedly ate a bat's head off on stage.
Allegedly.
Go on YouTube and look up Ozzy Osbourne and his bat, and it's one of those kind of weird things. People have been memeing. It's one of those things like on stage in like the early 80s when he's performing. He allegedly ate the head off a bat, and I'm not sure if it's. I've never actually looked into it, but I'm not sure if it's true or not. But it's one of those things that he himself would not confirm. I don't know. It's one of those things. But yeah. In fact, that's the kind of music I learned to play on guitar when I was in high school.
I knew the moment I seen the 327 battle pack yesterday. Since I didn't have money that day, I just went to the next.
It is an alright set, but the price is the biggest problem. It's not even the fact that the clones are slightly crap, it's the pricing.
I love the clones.
No, I know M&R can be a pain. I know M&R can be a pain, but he is on these ones. He's correct. They did do the printing wrong now, but they did get it right in 2005. That's the one time where the clone.
If they made the 327 remakes somewhere around 2012, it would have been perfect.
He has a.
Cakes and everything.
He is right.
But obviously, fucking Disney decided to buy it in
Oh no.
October.
It's not Disney's fault that the Lego minifigures look bad, because in the Disney era, there has actually been some really good figures. Like, if you look at that kind of 2016, 17 to 18, there's some really good ones in there. Like, in there, you've got in there, you've got, like, the Rogue One minifigures, and they're, like, legendary for how good they were. Like, see the Rogue One stuff looks so good. I don't own any of it myself. It's not an era. I would maybe go after it eventually, but like those look good. And then the Solo, even though the movie was a bit kind of questionable, the Solo minifigures don't look too bad either. Like under Disney, some really good stuff has been made. It's just Lego can't be bothered paying attention to the source. Like new ones are all right, but like M&R said, they would have been better if they'd come out 10, 12 years ago. And why is one of those things like, see if it's a character Lego have never made before and they screw up, that's slightly fair sometimes, but see when it's a character they got right the first time and screw up the second, then yeah, I see why people complain. It's like, wait a minute, you got the printing and the number of ammo pouches and all that stuff correct in 2005. Then why did you screw it up now? I don't know. It's like I don't agree with a lot of these criticisms, but did you see his video talking about the UCS Death Star? I am so disappointed in him.
I have minifigs for that. Well, not the minifigs, like, I have a photo of the minifigs.
Yeah, I know you saw, but I've seen that. But have you seen anything about the build? It is so bad. Like Lego, the idea about go watch M&R's video after the stream, and then you'll understand. It's hard for me to explain, but essentially, it's when you picture UCS Death Star, I bet you picture a giant Lego globe with a laser. It's not that.
Nah. I just imagine a 1x1 stud.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not what a UCS Death Star would or should be. It's like Lego took that and went, nah, screw all of you. That's essentially what they're coming out with. Right, so viewers, we are working on one of the panels. Essentially, we'll try and get a couple of these done. It just depends, because I am up really early. These live streams have not been long, but yeah, they're fun to do. So yeah, no, the Death Star. No, the Death Star basically does not look anything like a Lego Death Star would. And see, just on this news alone, well, how bad it's going to be. All those people who got hyped up going, well, I wanted to buy that, are now going, they've made 3 other...
No.
All those people... Wait, are you looking at the thing? See, all those people who got hyped up for the idea of a £1,000 Death Star and how good it would be are now probably quite angry with Lego.
Hey guys, definitely a good Death Star, alright.
Right, are probably all these people are going to be so mad, so I know exactly what they're going to do. For those of the people, some people will just go screw it, right, and won't care, and just not buy the Death Star. But see, those people who really want the UCS Death Star, they're going to do exactly what I'm thinking of doing. They're going to want to go back and buy that old one from 05, which will drive. That set is already expensive enough without it getting driven up as a result of this. So I think the next set I buy might, even if I don't have space and have to store it, will be an original UCS Death Star. I think I need to get... I hate seeing him in the Lego sets too, but he used to... You know what's funny? See, back when I got into... Oh, I don't mind his character. Like, he's played... That's his personality. I hate seeing his minifigure. I actually hate getting his figure in sets.
All those droids that have the Moto C3PO's head just in different colors, I want to collect them.
I am missing one. I think I'm just missing the...
It's a good idea.
There's 2 ways you can do it. You can do the modern one, right, where I think there might be more colors. Or you can do the original Lego C3PO with the original print and the original head. Because the modern ones have different chest details to help tell them apart, but the old ones, and I'll show you what I mean later on, is you had the standard C3...
Made them look more white.
What?
The old printing made them look more white and gold.
Essentially, there's 2 ways you can collect all the 3POs. You go the pre-2011 way of doing it, right? And you get all... Sorry, you buy the pre-2012 minifigures and you collect all the classic versions of C3PO because he exists in 4 colors. Or you do it the modern way, but there's a hell of a lot more colors and it gets really expensive really quick. Because that means you have to do TC14 as well. With the original one, you get the 2008 C3PO from the Death Star. You get the black C3PO from the Death Star, which is just a Death Star droid. You get the white one from 2007 from Echo Base, and then you get the red one from another Echo Base set. That's kind of what ones you'd end up with if you did that. Personal experience, I think the white one's really cool. Because that's the you do actually spot 100. You do actually spot it in the movie. Like very prominently. It's like really easy to spot the red one. The red one's more of a you need to be paying attention and look really hard to spot kind of deal. Not the easiest thing to find when watching the movie. Like I, as a kid, when that Lego set was out in 2011, thought that was a Lego, like, because that's back when Lego would sometimes make up characters to put in sets. I thought that's what he was for like a long time. And a couple years ago when I was rewatching Empire Strikes Back with a friend, I'm like, wait, that's real? That's not just a Lego made up thing. That is a real character. All right. I think he's called R. It's either called R or K3PO.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bum sweat Roblox Squid Game and piss little kids off.
Yeah, that's a smart idea. Didn't you get banned from servers for doing stuff like that before?
In between.
It means kind of, is really what it means. But no. Yeah, collecting the C3POs is a cool idea. I have gold, black, and white. I don't own red. I know there was a cancelled one of them meant where it'd have been in blue. I would have liked that quite a bit.
I think Roblox avatars the best.
Yeah. Anyone just joining the stream, we're building the 2007 UCS Falcon.
Mr. Bean on Roblox.
You're Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Of all the things to be, he's Mr. Bean.
What do we gotta do?
Gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, I gotta plug the battery in. Yeah, so I was discussing the other day. I got one of these live streams has been copyrighted and banned from being viewable because in the background of the first few live streams, I had the original Star Wars on, right? And A New Hope, the opening scene where the Star Destroyer is chasing a Tantive, Disney kind of decided that that was me committing copyright. Even though it's the background of a live stream, it doesn't count. But because I made like £3 because a viewer hit the donate button, that counts as copyright infringement. How does that make sense? Simple answer, it doesn't. But, fair enough. So this is like one of the back kind of panels we're building right now. I'm joined on call by Coleman Bricks. Go check him out on TikTok. It'd be a great idea if you did that. He does video. He does stuff. Right, let me find a part. But yeah, the main build has been on this table. Sometimes it's not right now. I just wanted to have some freedom to move because it does take up a lot of space and can make it difficult to kind of navigate. So I have left it elsewhere at the moment. But I'm planning to get both of these big back panels done in the stream. With the times that I've been working recently, I'm like really burnt out and tired. So I will not be streaming late. But as I was saying there, Coleman, one of the next like big investment sets would be the Death Star for like anyone who's doing that. I don't know about the playset ones. That's a bit of a. I can't decide if they're going to be worth more now or not. In fact, after this stream, I'm going to go on. Maybe I'll do it during the stream. I'm going to go on eBay and see what the original UCS Death Stars are selling for. Because I think based on all that information that came out about the new UCS one and the fact that it's not going to be shaped. It's a UCS Death Star that's not shaped like a UCS Death Star. Someone's in the chat. But yeah, seeing as the new Death Star will not be shaped like a Death Star, it is kind of terrible that way. Basically, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. There's a Disney toy that exists, right? It's like for Funko Pops for Star Wars, and apparently that is the random inspiration for this. I'm not joking. It's a Funko Pop display item that is the inspiration for this Ultimate Collector's Death Star. Apparently, Lego wanted to think outside the box because in their mind, well, a giant globe Death Star has already been done. Why would people want it again? Because it's been 20 years since the last one and it's extremely expensive. And it would be nice to see it done modern day. Even though I'm a guy who mostly collects sets from like the from like the 2000s and early 2010s, I would like to see a modern one. It would be nice. There's some really good pieces that exist now. Alright, I'm bringing down the UCS Falcon that we're being building. So this is what we're adding onto in the stream. This is the really big UCS Falcon. Yep, this is the Falcon we're building. This is the 2007 version of the UCS set, the original one. Very big model. We're building some of its top paneling. This is like the 9th stream I've done on this. But, yeah. Coleman, definitely that 05 Death Star might be up in value. I don't think the playsets will be, maybe. But then again, I think there'll be two schools of thought with this. There's the people who really wanted it to have an interior and the people who really wanted it to be panelled. So I think depending on which one you were more at, and there was people who wanted both. There'll be a lot of custom mocks online, I think. Once people realise the disappointment that Lego are coming out with. Yeah, that is sick. But basically, for the people who wanted one that was all panelled up, they'll go for 05. People who wanted the interior will probably buy the 08 and 16 models. Personally, I'm not sure what one I'd go for in that situation. There's like two options. And on that, I probably was never going to spend the money that Lego want for this UCS Death Star, but I wouldn't say no to having one in the collection. But if there was a UCS set I was going to go for, other than this one, it would have to be a Star Destroyer of some kind. I mean, yeah, Falcon's iconic, but so is a Star Destroyer. I mean, you see the Star Destroyer as well, you also instantly think Star Wars. But yeah, let's see. I'm just building up some background. What parts am I needing now? It's a really long piece there. That's not going to be there, is it? Go on, let's use. I'm trying to use my brain here, and it's not firing all cylinders again. That box there has them. Yes. I bought this set used a couple of weeks ago, and the seller sent it in all these little plastic trays and tubs to make it easier to rebuild. Literally one of the best things a seller has ever done, full stop. Like, brilliant service.
Some guy was beefing with me, I don't know who he is though.
Why is this on your game? You're beefing with some random guy.
Yeah. Some random guy's beefing with me. Try to find him though.
Why are you beefing with random people?
Oh no, I think he died.
Is that what that game's all about? Just starting beef with people?
It's Roblox.
I wouldn't know. I'll just trust your judgment on that one. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out where I went wrong with this build.
My game's glitched where I'm a yellow man, but I'm actually Mr. Bean.
What? The game's glitched, so instead of being a yellow man, you are now Mr. Bean. Sorry, do I understand all of that correctly?
It's just the other way around, but yeah. I'm supposed to be Mr. Bean, but instead I'm yellow.
So now you're on sec. I'm going to quickly deconstruct. I'm convinced I've done something wrong here, and I would.
That's crazy. It's going on first guard, he's one there, and I'm gonna get a fuck. There's no what I can do. What else? Just fuck you up. You just don't like it. Kennedy's one. No, I guess one.
Right. So basically, when you get these parts here, what it tells you about, it's a weird shape. It's to make all the panels on the back of the set flush. It kind of doesn't work quite the way you would think it would work. 'Cause I was thinking big triangle dishes on this build, but it's not big triangle dishes. I thought you'd build like 2 giant sections in the meat, but it's, I'll admit, I kind of stumped myself there, and I'm going back over to try and see what I have done incorrectly. I've definitely done something wrong here. Scotland. Let's see.
You're still thinking of fucking juice?
So yeah, where have I put those now? Sorry, I'm confusing myself with non-stream related nonsense with this. 1 second. All right. So you got to move those parts from. 1 second. Right. So I've got to move. Where are they? No, we got the other guy here.
The other guy.
Yeah, me. I'm the other guy in the stream. Right.
Oh, it's not that other guy I thought.
Well, it's not like I'm going to get the other guys on the stream. To be fair, right? In my defense, there, I've not had Lucas on. Wait, he was on Calder and the Star Destroyer build. That was about it.
I think
It was a Star Destroyer build we were building on TikTok when all that nonsense happened. And TikTok decided we couldn't tell jokes. Yeah, so let's see where we're at. So I'm rebuilding the panel. I know it's like, what time is it? It's like 22 and 10. I'd like to get more than just this panel done. Hopefully I do get more than just this panel done. But it has stumped. There's a little bits that has stumped me. I am slightly due an eye test, so it's going to be fun.
I still got guys killed.
What foods do you eat in Scotland? Interesting question. All right. Well, I'll ask my co-host, Coleman Bricks. He's also Scottish. What kind of food do we mostly eat in Scotland? What's the correct way of answering that question?
Hash browns or
whatever's cheapest.
Whatever's good. That's my personal opinion. Whatever's good.
Whatever food allows us to buy more Lego afterwards.
Exactly.
There we go. I'm getting back on track.
I'm not one for drinking cocoa, but I found 2 bottles. Well, my mate found one that said Billy, and then I found one that said Sabrina.
In work, so obviously I work in a warehouse and stuff. I do make an effort to see if I can find ones with funny face, like faces, like ones that just have funny names on them.
There's a bottle that I do want to find, and that's one that says Eilish.
You may struggle. You may struggle with that, but then again, there's some there's been some interesting names I've found on some of them that you go. He asks if beans. He's asking beans. Would you? There's a bottle what?
I don't have a feeling there's going to be a bottle called Napoleon.
I have found one called Napoleon, which is actually quite funny. I think that's just a joke for history buffs who happen to be buying Coca-Cola.
Wait, I think that really other fast person died, so that means I'm going to be the fastest. I win.
You have one? He has one, but at what cost?
I haven't won the whole game just yet.
No?
Oh, they're still alive.
I hate when people do that. It just sounds bad.
I just died. Just perish off the earth already.
Yeah, beans on. He asks if beans on toast counts as a Scottish meal.
They make, if I get paired with them in this game, which I don't know if you've watched Squid Game, but some
I have not watched Squid Game. No.
some
You-
shit to do with marbles.
Have I done a what?
If I get paired with them in this game, I kill them the fastest.
There we go. We're back on track with a piece. It is the correct shape. Right. Okay. So I've not had you on call on any of these streams, but have you watched any of them? Just curious. I'm not gonna be offended if you haven't. No.
Never even found one of them.
I did not do a good job at advertising these, to be completely honest. See, the reason I'm building them here. That's British people. I'm now thinking that thing in I'm now thinking of that scene in SpongeBob, right, where he walks in the Krusty Krab and they start talking about what a fancy, exquisite meal of the rich is, and SpongeBob, right, he's at front of the cash register, and then he keeps darting back and forth playing both characters, and he says beans on toast is an elegant meal, and it's the meal of the rich.
I just did 2 birds with 1 stone.
The trick there is small birds, big rock.
2 birds with 1 stone again. Let's go.
Is
5-1.
you have one?
I should have, yeah.
You should have one, but he didn't. Look,
I will.
I should have been emperor of a country, but I wasn't. These things happen.
No! I just knocked one of mine. You know what? It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I don't care.
He's trying so hard not to rage quit at the game. You have to respect that.
I'm winning.
Oh, you're actually winning. All right, I thought you said you weren't.
They just knocked one of their own ones out and made theirs really close to barrier. And I went.
I don't know. I've never actually played. I've barely touched Roblox ever, so I wouldn't actually know.
Right, so these. Ooh, I don't know who's winning this.
So there's like the big back panel, and like there's holes in some of them. So for deep, because you get parts that go through and act like as details that are already built in. So we've got a panel here and one up the back here. Like it's hard to show. I would bring it forward, but streaming with that build is a bit. It's cumbersome to do it with. Like it's one of the biggest sets I've ever tried building on a stream. So it can have moments where it is a bit annoying to move. I'll be glad when it's up on the shelf. But it has been. It's not.
It's unfortunately alive.
Something is unfortunately alive, he says.
They're unfortunately alive.
It's very inconvenient, eh?
Shit. This
But
next one's Glassbread.
perhaps, maybe eventually in a couple of years' time, I may before it goes away, I'll buy the modern UCS Falcon because I wouldn't mind doing a YouTube video comparing those. Plus, it'd be kind of cool just to see which one's better. Because everybody always says 2017 was the better one, but it kind of depends when you started collecting Lego for that opinion. I mean, collecting, like, when I started collecting Lego, this was considered, like, the best set you could buy.
I know Lego Star Wars started in 1999, but it's not my fault. I was born 13 years later. Not my fault. My bad.
I'm going to send him one of those videos where they start insulting you for what year you were born. There's a guy, right? There's a guy going through all the years of the 2000s on TikTok, and he goes, if you were born after 2010, that's not unacceptable. You got to do something about that. You have to fix that as unacceptable. You got to start fixing that problem.
Wasn't it like 1987 to 2012? That was like Gen Z or something.
Gen Z is 1996. No, Gen Z is like 1990 something to 2013 or 14. I know that I'm an early Gen Z. That's all I know.
Well, they need to die, man. They just die on the bridge, please.
Are you now begging with the game to give you good results? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes, I want to win. I'm not dying for none of these people.
Do you hear that, audience? He's trying to bribe the game by talking to it. So if anyone's wondering why I've got all these boxes, the reason it is done this way that it is in all the boxes is the guy I bought it from, or whoever I bought it from off eBay, repackaged it in a whole bunch of, let me get one of them. Basically, a whole bunch of these Stanley kind of tool, the kind of boxes you use for like nuts, screws, bolts, and kind of DIY stuff. And it's the coolest way I've ever been sent a used set. Makes it a lot easier to build. Otherwise, like, there's going to be like 25 streams of most of it carefully picking through, trying to find a part. Oh no, I missed it, or I'm going to have to look again. It'd be full of stuff like that, which just sounds like a nightmare. Loads of streaming content, I suppose, but wouldn't be the ideal way to build, especially something this big. Because maybe about 3 years ago, I bought the 2008 Death Star and had to build it it was used. I had to build it that way. That was not fun. It took me about 2 weeks, nearly. Something like that. And the parts are like well sorted in this, so it has been like really convenient to build. So, like, props to the seller. Like, this is a brilliant service. Right, one more part I need to find, and it is right there.
We all died anyways. Oh well.
You all died. Every single one of you.
It's glass bridge, man.
I have never played any of it.
It's where people are. It's where one glass is perfectly fine whilst the other one is not.
Ah, right.
People are so stubborn in it.
So depending if I get my, I may be getting a bonus. So depending on the bonus I get, would the 2005 Death Star be an interesting live build?
Yeah, I mean,
all I know about that set is it is a shape that is achieved using brown pirate ship wheel pieces, which is kind of, I don't know why, but I find that funny. When you look at a set like that, you think, right, there must be a massive inner working of Technic beams, crisscross. No, it's pirate wheels.
I mean, to be fair, the Death Star is a big planet blowing up thing.
But see, when you see the outside of that model with all its panels, you look at it and you immediately assume there must be some crazy Technic system inside it. And it's like, nope, it's pirate wheels. When you look at the Lego Death Star, did you think pirate wheels would be the way it works?
Wait a minute. Oh, Naka. I think that's his name.
Oh, Naka. Are you talking about the pirate guy?
Yeah.
Plot twist, Honda was involved in the Death Star's construction.
Exactly.
Even though that Lego set came out way before he even existed in Star Wars.
Imagine getting force choked.
Oh, God.
Commander Fox.
Oh, yeah, that's how he dies in Star Wars canon. I think that's still canon. I don't know, Disney have a tendency to change all the time what is canon, so it's...
I just want to say, if you ask a single a single soul about the sister clone trooper, they don't know.
Don't bring that up on the stream, but I do know what you mean.
If you were to ask anybody about it, they would not.
No, if you asked a serious Star Wars fan, they would know what it is, because a lot of people were like, what the hell is this?
You would think it's like the Inquisitor or some shit.
No, what I find quite funny is I've seen in Family Guy, right? And it's one of the cutaway gags, right? And it's a Noah's Ark joke, right? And a penguin and some other animal, right? Mated and made this animal that's like half pig, half something. And Moses walks up and goes, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? And basically, we've always been memeing that with the sister clone trooper. And I was like, that's quite funny.
Gee, it must have been the Kaminoans.
Goddamn Kaminoans getting drunk and being experimental with their clone troopers.
To be fair, they look like knobs, like. To be fair.
Yeah, it's Kaminoans. It's normal for them to be.
They look like knobs, to be fair.
Yeah. No, the Kaminoans, like, man, we know why Disney made. Like, I'm not going to go into detail about it on stream, but we know why Disney made them. And it just, wow. I want to say I'm surprised by it, but I'm not. I don't think
I
I'm
know
surprised.
this guy is so obvious from them. It's really obvious.
I don't think that us as Star Wars fans can be surprised by anything weird Disney does anymore. I think we're to the point where it's like, yep, anything they do, yep, makes sense. So this one's got one of the giant vents on it, this panel. I'm going to hold it up and let you see where we're at with it. I mean, to be fair, right, Disney has spent 13 years just doing bad things to Star Wars. The only thing I ever liked that they did that I would like rewatch over and over, like I really liked Rogue One a lot. Granted, I don't own any Lego sets from Rogue One, but I'm definitely going to change that eventually. I'm currently just playing catch up with some of the years I wanted to rebuy sets from and stuff, and 2016, 17, I'm not quite there yet. Like, I'm more likely to buy a 2012 like Sith Fury class interceptor than I am to buy a Rogue One Y-wing kind of thing. I will eventually, just not right now. So a few people have commented asking why I don't, or messaged me rather, asking why Rogue One sets never pop up in the set books. They will eventually. I may do the other panel. Joe, I probably will. Just do the other panel that goes with this, and then we'll call it a stream. Like, well, call it a day with the stream. But to be right, that doesn't sound like a whole bunch of progress, but when you really think about it, it kind of is at the same time. The detail on these is quite good. Like, I'm happy they waited at least 8 years into Lego Star Wars to do a set like this. If they had done, I'm not saying it'd be terrible, but I don't think a UCS Falcon done like 2001 or whatever would look good. I think they waited the right time to actually make one of these. Right. I'm about to get this attached. It goes up the back. Oh, conveniently right there. Yeah, that helps. So it's just the paneling, the radar dish, the plaque, and really just like the tunnel for the cockpit that are really left to get done. I didn't understand completely at first, but now I see the genius in why we built detailed sections randomly on the top. It now makes a lot more sense to the model. And he's back with an award-winning sentence.
Just taking the mick out of this guy because he thinks he's all sneaky.
Is he all sneaky?
Hell no. He's very obviously different.
I'm saying that the Falcon, I think they waited the ideal amount of time to make a UCS Falcon, because I think if they had tried to make this set any time before when they did, it would look really bad. I think if they tried to make a UCS Falcon pre-2005, it would not have looked right. Because a lot of the early... I do like the early UCS sets, but I'm not a fan of the fact that they have like random colors in some places. Oh, it just looks weird. It's like you get an X-Wing that has random tan and green segments.
Are all those people just gonna die?
Insert the Jar Jar Binks quote. Is the people gonna die? I think that's what.
One whole Gungan episode where we tried to war on the moon.
In all fairness, I actually, that's like one of the Gungan episodes I liked.
Was that some random evil necklace, was it?
Yeah, necklace was part of the plot of that episode.
Was he got a hat or a necklace? That's all I know.
Basically, the way the plot of the episode is, he has a necklace that basically convinces this Gungan to do bad things.
Yeah.
And you know the whole thing. Anakin gets involved. Anakin gets I think Anakin gets kidnapped in that one as well. And there's like one of things, they capture General Grievous, but they're like forced to trade him for Anakin. Because, you know.
This is just some rich. This is just right.
You've gone too far.
Damn, people are having beef.
No, the best way to describe that episode is the Nabooans breathe, and the Gungans. I took that personally.
I get a game I've never done before. Yeah.
What's wrong? Were you not anticipating trying a new game?
No, I just left to go get some. Got left with a game I've never fucking done before. I know how to do it, then I know how to do it.
Process of learning.
All you have to do is just pick the shit up.
So I have encountered a part that is slightly cracked, and I'm just sourcing its replacement. But I mean, look, for how cheap I actually got a UCS Falcon, I'm not complaining. Like, I have plenty of these lying around. It's not a problem for me. Well, the part isn't, not the Falcon. I have plenty of Falcons lying around. That'd be nuts. There probably is one person in the world somewhere who has far too many of these goddamn Falcons. I have not opened this box in a long while. apparently, I don't have a replacement for that part, but I have a solution to fix this problem. So, not the worst thing in the world, but not ideal. I'm gonna message a seller on that one because a couple like these little Technic bars are not here. I'm having to source them from other places to complete the set. That's not ideal, but like it's not like I'm missing a printed goddamn radar dish that's exclusive to it, so I can handle this. Do you know where I noticed, Coleman, for the like the how big this thing actually is? It's the radar dish is where I noticed it. Because like how big the element is that you get in the Lego set, like a normal sized Falcon, and then there's what you get in this. It just like dwarfs it by a lot. That's kind of how I noticed. I'm like, yeah, crap, that's huge. Right, getting the bracket on that holds it onto the ship. That's one of the. It's looking good though. Right. Oh, that is a. When I was building it, that looked like quite a small bit I was building, but it actually does take up quite a bit of space. I have to take the gun port off, as I have been. I don't know why I keep putting it back on, but all right.
I was AFK and I didn't get to choose what I was doing.
I used to hate like if I was playing like Grand Theft Auto online on like the game modes, and then went to the toilet, came back, I'd be like spawned into like one of the really crap game modes usually.
Yeah.
There we go. We have another bit of roof on the UCS Falcon.
In a game, I didn't know how to do it, and then some random got the fifth spot. I was actually going to do.
I just want to put this back on just to see how it looks. Let's see. Oh, brilliant. I'll show you comments as I can lift the phone up actually. This is kind of what I've just done to it. So just this panel here is one big piece. Obviously it goes like through and stuff, but yeah. Like to give you an idea of scale, here's a minifigure. Yeah. So like you do have in a way a small interior that isn't an interior. But, you know, can get a minifigure in there. So it's improvised. So I think the next panel will either be the one that goes here or the one that goes on that side. Let's see. I'll do whatever the next one is. Right, 7 minutes past 10. So depending on what the next, I think I'll just do the next one. So get it motivated. That's like the first top and bottom panel, like that's like that. Or one of the first ones that looks really good going around. Like fan of that look. Right. Okay. So what is the next part of this build? Is it the other one of those? Yeah, is the other one that goes on the other side. Oh, FYI, like either Friday or Saturday, I'll be able to do a longer one of these. Probably one of those 2 days will complete the thing. Screw it. Get the other one on. It's all about progress, because that means I can have a longer stream on one of those days where we actually do a couple of other things that I want to do. So it's to the benefit to do it this way. Scared to be quick about this, but I know what I'm building. And it's more or less just the same thing, but flipped. So I should be able to be quite quick at this one. See, I'm making an exception. I think he's on AFK again. Yo. Right, okay. I've decided to do one more panel and then we're ending the stream, but it's the opposite side panel from one we just built. Because the plan is if I can put myself a little bit more closer to done, obviously will be a short, like, hour-long stream tomorrow. So I'm working a little bit later than I was today. And then, of course, like, the day after. Let's see. So tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday. So Friday. I'll most likely be on Saturday. I'm able to do a long stream. So, like, it'll be finished by Saturday, which will be, like, by that point, I'll have had the thing for 2 weeks. So I've been building this since, not Saturday there, but the Saturday before. But keep in mind, like, if I wasn't going to work and doing other stuff, how quick I would have had this up.
What bag are you
on?
What bag are you on?
Oh no, like this set never had bags back in the day. This is pre-bags. I'll show you what my system currently is, right? So essentially, the guy gave me a whole bunch of these drawers, right? Like 4 of them, and then this toolbox and thing, and then this other box. Essentially, it's like all organized.
Sure.
Best part about this one was, check that this is quite rare to find. Unused. This is the thing I was telling you about with the figures. This is Chewbacca's accessory according to the instructions. Yeah. None of the other guys get lightsabers or blasters. No, Chewbacca gets this.
Chewbacca used to be locked up in like some muddy cage according to the Solo movie or something.
I don't like that Solo changed their canon story for meeting each other. Because the one in Star Wars canon was a bit more interesting. So the old canon on that event was basically Han Solo was a TIE pilot, right? The stripes that he has on his legs are actually like an award thing. It's like an insignia for like high-ranking pilots. Anyway, he's an Imperial pilot, and he's basically delivering stuff to this outpost, right? And, you know, the Imperial officer's being a bit of an ass, whatever. And essentially, it gets to the point where the Imperials, you know, they're dicks. So, like, they use, like, innocent people as, like, target practice and stuff. And Chewbacca, growls at one of the Imperial officers, and just because and the Imperial officer turns around to Han and says, shoot that Wookiee. And Han, just because he's not a terrible person, just decides to shoot the Imperial officer instead. That is how they meet, but it's a bit more cinematic in the comic. I don't know. I just don't like when Disney thought, right, Han Solo just being a straight-up murderer is not good enough. It's not child-friendly. You can't go around doing that.
Man, Disney's a...
Keep in mind, Han, in the original cut of A New Hope, fries Greedo right there and then. Something people often do forget. In the 1977 cut of the movie, he just shoots Greedo right there and then. Like, no hesitation. I don't know why, but they recently updated the audio in those movies a couple years ago, and for some reason, Greedo now says McClunky before being shot. I have no idea why. But some of the special edition changes in Star Wars make sense, and then there's that. I can see it now. The scene was not complete, but now that Greedo just says McClunky before being shot, we can finally say that this scene is complete. I don't know. Greedo's one of those forgettable Star Wars characters, probably because Probably because he gets fried upon his first appearance. But I'll give you a fun fact about Greedo. I'm sure it's either they slow it down or it's backwards, but he's basically just speaking French.
Greedo first. According to some random fucking comment. Or something like that.
Basically, Han shot first, right? Yeah, in the updated version, Greedo shoots first, misses, and then Han shoots him. But this like used to be years ago. This was a huge debate in the fandom. But in the original 70s version of the movie, and I think in the early 80s version of it on tape, Han always shoots first. That's something that I don't know why that. I think the reason it was changed is George Lucas wanted them to look more like a hero, and apparently him randomly just blowing someone's head off in a bar does not help. I argue it makes them cooler, but okay then. I argue it makes them look like, yeah, I don't take crap from no one. Bang! I don't know. That's just where I stand on that one. But nah, it used to be there's two types of Star Wars fans. Those who believe Han shot first, those who believe Greedo shoots first. Listen, I go by... personally, the ones I watched as a kid were the tape ones, so I go based on what they're saying. And they're telling me that Han definitely shot first. Then he flips a coin at the bartender and says, sorry about the mess. You know, just super casually. Obi-Wan just using the Force, to muck around in that scene just to change the outcome. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
That is not the first time that has been suggested, but they were not in the cantina at that point, and that's confirmed. They had just walked out the door, and Han goes to do some stuff to the Falcon, and Greedo just, with the guns, going somewhere solo, and they have that whole sit-down scene. That is a scene I will probably have to get a hold of at some point. I do not own the cantina scenes.
Does Jabba the Hutt say to thingy, you owe me money, Solo?
Basically, I see when I was a teenager, and I would have been a teenager when it was on Disney, when it first came on Disney Plus, and I rewatched them there. I remember being absolutely baffled, by the fact that Jabba the Hutt appears in A New Hope, and I was so confused. Am I remembering this wrong? Because I was very certain Jabba the Hutt never appeared in A New Hope, and that Greedo definitely did not shoot first. That's how I found out the amount of changes. Because in the cut I saw as a kid, keep in mind I watched tapes that were from the the early 90s. I do own a few copies of the Star Wars cassette widescreens over there. I use them as a shelf item, to be fair. But those are. I think the way it works, if you buy the tapes and they're pre-1994, they're basically as close as you can get to the original cuts. And that's how I found out there's a thing known as special editions, because for years I'd only seen them that way. And it was for me, it was experiencing the movies all over again because of all these random scenes that just were never there before. And it took my brain a little while to catch up with that one. Trying to think of other examples of scenes that are changed. So a couple. The Ewok, the song the Ewoks are singing at the end is different as well. And Anakin's ghost is different as well. Because in the original cut of the movie, the Force ghost you see for Anakin at the end, his face is just that of the actor that played Vader's face in the movie. But it's one of those ones that later went back and updated after, or I think it was during they were filming the prequels, they updated it. That makes sense. I'm all in for that change. But yeah, I think if Disney never bought the prequels would have got special editions as well. Like, even the cassettes are weird. See my copy of Return of the Jedi, right? The poster they use on it, Luke has a blue lightsaber, weirdly. No, Vader has a blue lightsaber and Luke's holding a red one. But during the production of Return of the Jedi, it was originally called Revenge of the Jedi until they changed it because apparently Jedi do not seek revenge was the reasoning. I know, it was random fat there. But also it was called Blue Harvest during production because they didn't want people kept sneaking into the set.
I heard of that website.
Yeah, that's where the name comes from because essentially we kept sneaking on to try and get shots of the new film. So they basically disguised, gave all the crew t-shirts, right, and caps that said Blue Harvest, right, and tried to convince them it's a sci-fi horror movie and not the newest Star Wars movie.
Blue Harvest bricks. That's on the Blue Harvest tank.
That's literally where his name comes from, yeah. But there's one of the rarest like Star Wars promotional items, and I was recently watching a thing discussing this. Of course, I was. And it was like one of the rarest things you can find reproductions like on Amazon, but like to get a real one is really difficult. See, because originally the movie was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi, there was a whole bunch of posters, and in some cases, I think, but this is even harder to find. There's toys, so like the Kenner Star Wars action figures that are branded as being from Revenge of the Jedi. And because they changed their mind while the movie was in production, some of them do exist, but it's like some of the rare, like, they're like the action figure and poster equivalent of a Cloud City Boba Fett kind of rare. Like, stuff like this, like, yeah, a bit like that. Not something I'd go out and buy myself, but, I mean, I'm insane, but I'm not that insane. Come back next week. I will have bought 70s Kenner action figures. That's a joke. I'm not paid. Those things are worth crazy money. So like an original Darth Vader action figure can sell for about 20 grand. Is what they're worth. Like if you get one that like still has like the fabric cape and all like the other stuff still attached to it. I don't know. At one time, I remember at one point I was curiously looking into the market for all that kind of stuff. Didn't buy anything, obviously. Very goddamn expensive.
When you end in your thing we do?
Essentially, like in the next kind of 10 minutes. I'm just. Are you going just now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's been Coleman Bricks. Go look him up on TikTok. Yeah, like I said, the stream will be. He's just going now. Yep, he is gone. So, I was him joining via Discord. He does Lego content on TikTok. I do occasionally have other people on these. On the TikTok streams, it's actually like they have a button I can have him in the stream, but this YouTube software I want to use to make the live stream work doesn't quite seem to want to play ball with having guests. So until I figure that out, it's just going to be one of those things. But at this point, I'm going to try and go a bit faster just to be done here. But yeah, it'll be a short stream tomorrow as well. It's just I'm working around a bit of a pain in the butt schedule at the moment, but it'll be worth it. Get some background noise on for the last part of the stream. What time is it? 23. If I can be done by 25,
grey hair's darker each time you use it. New Alpacin Grey Attack. Fight for your hair. Okay, I see you. Okay, let me see you cherry hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right, now kick left, now step forward, now step back. Lucas A, bring the energy.
Hello there, and welcome to Ask Onar, episode 363. On this episode, we're discussing the real reason LEGO Star Wars didn't make a UT-AT. Yes, the designers did answer this. We have more Death Star talk, of course, and much more. If you have a question or topic for next week's episode, leave it down in the comments section below. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy the series. And
How's getting in the way?
Southpaw says, I feel like the only other way they could have sold this set better, the set being the $1,000 Death Star, other than upping the quality of the figs, would have been to have a dollhouse type interior where the set opens up hinges, revealing two halves of the inside of the Death Star, and having the option to close the model up to display as a space station, having a detailed exterior as well. So I think he's describing the same shape that is currently rumored, except it would be split in the middle, and you'd be able to open it like a book. I think that could have been a little bit more interesting. It would have made it a little bit more displayable, giving it the actual look of a Death Star without having to be spherical. Definitely could have maybe worked. Like, you could still have the external, like, paneling and things. Maybe that would have helped people want the set a little bit more. Again, we still haven't seen it, so it could still be something that we look at and go like, okay, all right, that's cool, fair enough. But it's definitely trying to get a direction, and very much the community sentiment right now is, this is a horrible idea. Why would you do this for $1,000? Nobody wanted a $1,000 diorama. Everyone wanted a $1,000.
Right. Continuing.
I'm very happy to see that everyone else is basically having the same reaction that I had to finding out the $1,000 Death Star would be a big globe and more shapes like that. And given the community reaction, I don't know what amount of research LEGO did to figure out this was such a great idea, but they clearly didn't do a lot. Like, there's no way they did. And if you ask any LEGO Star Wars fan what they think the $1,000 Death Star should be, 95 to 99% of them would have said a big spherical globe shape with an interior, essentially taking the 2016 sets, marrying them together with the 2005 model, minus like the Death Star 2 aspect where it's missing big chunks of it, but you just nail it up. And that would be good for $1,000 maybe. That's how you
1, 2, 3, 4,
call back to an Ask Avatar from 3 years ago where I said I didn't want the first $1,000 to
5.
be a Death Star. So roll the clip. Bert says, will $1,000 Death Star come out, and if so, when? I hope the $1,000 Death Star is not the next Death Star that we get. The previous Death Stars have maxed out at $500. I just don't see what you can add to a Death Star that would double its price. It just doesn't work. I don't think it would be the first $1,000 set, unless inflation became crazy and it just happened to be the one that hit $1,000. That's inflation. It's still as ridiculous as the others. The next Death Star is probably going to be considerably smaller than
2,
the previous
3,
Death Stars. I was
4.
technically right that the next Death Star would be considerably smaller than the previous Death Stars because the Death Star that came out after this was actually the Robo Death Star, which was tiny in comparison to the UCS Death Stars or Max Death Stars. This is like a long way. I guess I'm just that good. What can you do? Not everything I said was right, of course. The next Death Star I really thought would be more like the as well. And so I'm very surprised that they've gone this direction, given just the reaction with like, how did you not see that coming? Canada says a blog recently had an interview with the designer and asked why the UT was made. What are your thoughts on their comments regarding their reasoning as to why it wasn't made? And I guess I'll just read their answer word for word here. Quote, we decided to make the Republic Juggernaut because it is a very well-known and popular vehicle as well as one of the few vehicles in Star Wars with wheels. These make it a fun model to play with for kids. Can't afford it, by the way. That's neither here nor there. And of course, the blog won't push back on that particular quote. They say, quote, the many things in this set have been highly requested, so we decided to add them to the set. Even though the troopers are not seen in Star Wars content with the Juggernaut, they could have used this vehicle. The UT-AT is an interesting vehicle, though, and for sure one we can consider for a future set. So let's start with the idea that it's a turbo tank.
Still in the event part.
This basically confirms what I thought was the case anyway. It's a water turbo tank. The turbo tank is objectively a better play set, cooler vehicle, whatever, for kids to play with, and probably a vehicle that more people in general have wanted. However, when you throw in figures that have been married simply to one vehicle for their entire 20-year existence, you shouldn't do that. You should not have ever mixed those into this set. Those should have always been reserved for the day that you decide you're actually going to do a UT-AT. So the answer is basically exactly what I expected. Nothing crazy, nothing off the rails. There's no hint of like, well, yeah, we were making this set a UT-AT until very late in the development, and then it ended up being a turbo tank, which is why the turbo tank is really bad. that. I've seen a lot of people suggest that, and that's honestly just not even a possibility with the way that Lego makes their sets. They're not going to switch a set completely from one build to another on a dime. Well, I don't know, late in development is what people say. It's like, I don't know how late is late. But the other kind of takeaway from the answer, if you read between the lines, is simply that they didn't even consider the UTAT a real possibility here. It seemed like it was always going to be a turbo tank, no matter what. And then it just came down to like,
A lot of bang there.
Are we going to bring in more machine troopers? Are we going to do like Clone Wars minifigs in this set? Like, basically, it came down to that, not necessarily the other way around of like picking the vehicle. And so the UTAT was, in my opinion, clearly not a real consideration in this set, which is sad. It's not as crazy bad of an answer as they did with the Crab Droid in 2022 with Revenge of the Sith, but it's kind of the same thing to me, you know? They basically didn't consider it. They didn't care to actually make the thing that should have gone with the other stuff. And now we have a set that most of the community is iffy on at best, and it's massively overpriced. Like, good luck with that. So that's the official answer. Nothing crazy or fun, I guess, but we now have an answer that, yeah, probably could. I could have came up with that answer myself. Anyway, Studded Brick adds on to an important topic from last week's episode. He says, quote, in 2021, Lego lowered the price of brick sketches to $16.99 from $19.99, and that's a callback. I totally forgot about that, but that definitely did happen. And when it comes to lowering prices again, we're talking about MSRP, not just Lego putting a set on sale. So Lego didn't lower like the actual price on this. Now this one is also still unique in that it's a Lego store exclusive and not something available at other retailers. So I still don't think there's a precedent set where Lego has.
So we're on the like end page that we're going to stop building with tonight.
I really still don't think any prices on summer sets are coming down. It's just not going to happen, guys. Like, don't get your hopes up. At best, we'll just see some better sales than normal if these sets really don't sell. If people really boycott them like they say they're going to. But as for Lego dropping the price, it's a great example. I love it. Probably not going to happen. Next from Jake's Finest, he says, I recently watched your vlog on getting the UCS Predator early, meeting Lego Ambassador Network, and how happy you were. Can we expect a similar video with the UCS Death Star? Because in my opinion, that would be one of your best videos. Biggest Star Wars set ever. Before the Lego Ambassador Network. Keep up with the great work. Well, thank you. And no, you can never expect anything because in the words of Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars, you never know what's going to walk through that door. You never know why he's going to come through that door. I mean, I could wake up tomorrow to a DM of a guy in Japan that found the Death Star early at his store, and I could have it the day after. That could happen. Not going to happen, but it could happen, right? It's almost always a different person in a different country, a different place, and you just never know where the set's going to come from. Or a picture gets posted online, and then I have to like track down where that picture came from, and then sometimes I'll post on Instagram asking if a fan happens to live anywhere, go to that place to get the set, basically. Even then, like, a set is never guaranteed to show up somewhere early. You just never know. The Death Star could be one that doesn't show up anywhere early, and I'll get it on release day, make my review in a couple days thereafter. It's a big set, it's going to take a long time. But the other aspect of it is it's a bit of a game of cat and mouse between Lego and I, instead of Lego just treating me right, sending me sets, and I'll follow their dates and whatnot. They move review dates for their ambassadors, even though they wouldn't move review dates for me when I was an ambassador. Like, I would find, I don't know why I'm grabbing this one, it's not a good example, but find sets on the shelf, and I would ask them, like, hey, you sent me this, I have it, but I just found it at Target, can I review it with the set you gave me? And they said, no, you have to buy it again, and then make a review with the one that you bought. And now they don't tell ambassadors, no, if I get a set, they immediately will move those dates up for their ambassadors. But when I was ambassador, they didn't do it for me. So nowadays they are more proactive and deals with it. Like the summer sets, all of those reviews come out early July. Why would all the Star Wars reviews be in the first week of July for the ambassadors, and the Marvel ones not until the end of July? Like, isn't that a little weird to you? It's just a little weird to me that it happens to shake out that way. It's almost like they wanted the Star Wars ones to be first. This guy really got something. So there's that aspect too of the cat and mouse with it. So good review in September. I assume the review date will be mid-September. It will be very difficult, as it always is, for me to get a review of a Lego exclusive set. But as always, if any of you happen to find a Death Star, I will happily buy it off you as long as it's not stolen. And I will make a review of it as quickly as possible and try to beat the Lego Master Network as per usual, which I wouldn't have to do if Lego just treated me right, but hey, it's more fun, I guess, the other way, maybe. Sometimes. All that aside, Greg Report says, what is the worst possible UCS that you can imagine Lego making? And this was actually 5 days ago before the rumors of the Death Star being the shape that it was came out. And I feel like for a lot of people, this Death Star is that worst possible UCS set. Now, whether they put the
Just
UCS
doing these gold pieces here.
is kind of irrelevant to me here with the way that it is. It's just the worst possible version of the Death Star for $1,000 that a lot of people could imagine, probably. And I think I read are saying all sorts of wild stuff, much wilder than I'm saying here. So you could go to any level and come up with some really, really dumb or as far as like realistic, really bad Lego Death Star that doesn't meet people's expectations of what the most expensive Lego Star Wars Death Star ever could look like. It's probably a pretty bad idea as we're finding out. Bad feeling about this. That's what Jay Ohio says. How would you feel if instead of printed wastegapes, Lego did dual molded legs for clones? And as we've seen with the $1,000 Death Star leaks, we can't even get dual molded legs in a $1,000 set. So why would Lego all of a sudden start putting dual molded legs in battle packs and Republic Juggernauts that are overpriced, etc., etc.? So that's a short, simple way to look at that. But also, there is no answer other than physical.
It's now free to sell on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Over 20 surprises inside. Smashers, Legos vs. Aliens. Free collections room.
Introducing Just Eat Plus. Get unlimited delivery, just $5.99 for 90 days. Behind every sport, there is a sportage. The new sportage.
Cameras for clone troopers. Print on the side of the legs, the back of the legs is still exposed, and it doesn't complete the full waist tape look. And if you do molded legs, of course, then you're going to have printing discoloration, as you have to use black on the top, white on the bottom, and then on the black you have to print white, which is not going to match the white on the actual plastic part of the legs below that, and then you now have mismatched black and white, and then a faded white, and it's going to look really bad like that. So it's also not an answer. I do not see anything but physical wastegapes as the answer to clone troopers. There's no way. AZT says if you
This one's got a lot more detail than the one had, so it's taking me slightly longer to get quickly built.
Battle Pack, Wookiee Treehouse, and so on. Hey, there was a great Wookiee Treehouse mock the other day on Instagram that I saw. Fantastic stuff. He's actually doing a whole series of mocks from Revenge of the Sith. Like so many great, fantastic potential sets. I think also a Wookiee Catamaran. There's a lot of good ideas out there. This year has Kashyyyk in the future, of course, and I just don't see the Wookiee Catamaran. I would be shocked if they visited that again. I think we'd be lucky to even get some version of a Wookiee Ornithopter again. Like both of those are just seemingly so niche and off the beaten path. I think the coolest Kashyyyk set they could make that they haven't made, other than maybe the Treehouse set as like a big play set, whatever, that would be cool. A Yoda's escape pod on Kashyyyk, I've always thought of as something that would be pretty neat. They could do Yoda's escape pod with Mark Speeder with Kashyyyk Trooper, just so you can get a clone trooper in there, and then Chewbacca and Tarful. Maybe you could also do it as like his escape pod, and then maybe part of like the deck that they're on, and then you can include one of the clone troopers and the Commander Gree there. That actually might work too. That way you can get a couple characters that people have wanted. Or alternatively, you could do the Kashyyyk UTAT, so you camouflage it, kind of like they do with tanks. Camouflage on top of UTAT, and then put Kashyyyk troopers in it. That'd be cool. I would hate that, but it would be kind of a cool mock to see someone do, I guess. Grady says, no clue I've ever asked before. I haven't seen it. Thought it's fun. Hey, no fun questions. I'm asking whatever. That's rule number one, but we'll give you an exception here. Says, what is your favorite Lego asteroid droid? I think Luke Brown asteroid droid is my pick. Okay? All right, I like it. So I really love the McDonald's one and the IKEA one that we've seen in the last couple of years from Rebuild the Galaxy from the Show Show. I feel like those are probably my couple of favorites. Like they're just really fun, and there goes my life. Really fun asteroid droids. So I think those would be my top two. Maybe picking one.
Before I have to kill like one of these pins, I'm just checking I can't just take it from this big parts thing I've got. Well, there's multiple parts that are in here.
So a lot of questions specifically MTT in the turbo tank. I am very much considering doing that once I complete all of my other comparisons. So I've got like a half dozen I need to do. But let me know, would you rather it be the MTT and turbo tank and that's it, or all four of those $160 sets? So I'll consider what comments I see and So quite simply, if you look at the back, it rips the back of the box, and so for a couple of reasons. One, I just want to have the back of the box look clean for my own personal collection, but also if it rips the back of the box and I need to reshoot anything on the back of the box, well, that is horrible in my video, so that's not helpful. And also, when you break the thumb tabs, the actual printed part can fall off literally, and then I have to glue back on it, or it's gone. So then it's just missing a big gap of printing on the back of the box, which is worse than just having a jagged line. So yeah, I cut them because it keeps the box cleaner as far as how it looks for videos and things, and just my personal taste of having a box look as best as possible for my collection forever. Huge potential from the Mattel Brick Shop.
Nice to get one.
The DC Comics license to Mattel Brick Shop. From what I read, Mattel took the rights to make DC toys starting in 2026. I am unaware of this, but this sounds really interesting. This is Mattel Strikes Back. Lego took the Pokemon license, Mattel is taking the DC license, and the battle is on. I'm excited about this. I now have that glimmer of hope that Lego Star Wars might end in 2032, and come 2033, Mattel will take the rights to Lego Star Wars. That'll never happen. That'll never, ever happen. But it's kind of the wildest thing that could happen, so I'm kind of rooting for it. I guarantee if you ask someone that works for Mattel building that brand, they would say they would love to do Star Wars because it would be simply just rocket them to the top. They make a lot more money and they'd be a lot more like culturally relevant. So that would DC is a good start.
And that's it. So I did stay alive for quite a bit longer than I planned, but honestly, in this case, it's worth it. Just to get a bit more done.
Either Legos go out the bang, maybe it's just DC toys, not including brick-built toys. Like that could be the case too. But I kind of hope Lego does lose that license to Mattel. I think that'd be a fair trade for that Pokemon license. Give Mattel something, right? Mattel needs something to hang their hat on going forward.
And tomorrow we will continue with the other back panels. It's the smaller ones. So by tomorrow the whole back end could be complete, but that's what we got. So let's stick it in to the ship.
What are your most memorable fan interactions? I've had a lot of great fans over the years, but I think my favorite ones are at like sports stadiums. Perhaps the craziest one was about a year ago. I went to a Tampa Bay Rays game. This was before the roof came off, and I sat there through the whole game. I was with Steven from the Brick Show talking about God knows what for 3 hours, and game ends. Kid turns around, like probably 15 years old or something, and he goes, "Are you M&R Productions?" And I'm like, "What did I just say for the last 3 hours?" Like, it's probably not anything that bad, right? But I was like, did I say anything I really shouldn't have said for 3 hours? So I'll always remember that one because it was insane to me. Then I was like at the NBA Finals. I've met a few fans there. It's kind of weird to me because like the mixing of my two like big worlds of like Star Wars and sports, like just weird to me that like I could be walking around the halls at an NBA game. I'm like, oh yo, are you M&R? That's wild. Like that gets me every time. And then there was another time, one kid, I was at the Indianapolis Colts New England Patriots game in Indianapolis in 2021. And I posted on Instagram that I was at the game. This kid, I don't know, probably like 18, 20 years old, literally walked around the entire stadium. Like, you know, I came all the way around to say hi to me and take a picture. So it was very cool. Like, I always love that. Those are my most memorable ones. So probably just because like, while I'm at a sports game, it shouldn't be happening. But yeah, that's probably it. Speaking of sports, ironically,
One's not going in without a fight.
Rod, the YouTuber Grace, says, given your affinity for both Coca-Cola and Star Wars, will you be collecting the limited edition Star Wars Coke bottles and cans? So I've been, buying Coke as I do. I got Boba Fett here. The Grievous one I think is the coolest of these bottles, but I won't be collecting them. Maybe I'll save one though, because I do have a small Coke bottle collection. I've got the Share a Coke with M&R Productions bottle. I got the 2004 Red Sox World Series bottle. And I got a Christmas 1997 bottle. If I don't have a Star Wars bottle, what am I doing? So I think I'll keep one. I know Anakin's been the one I've been looking for that I see on TikTok, but I think General Grievous is the coolest. Like 20-ounce bottles. Maybe I'll do a can in the bottle. Who knows? But so far, I haven't collected them. I have told myself I won't collect them, or maybe I'll keep one or two just because I've already got a few others. Eric says I'm going to go in Denmark this month for 2 weeks. That's the Lego House Star Wars special promotions of sets. I know they have special sets only offered to guests, and I'm wondering how that fully works. So I think anything that is exclusive to the Lego House is just for sale there. Like you walk into the Lego House store, and those sets, like the dinosaur set or the tree house set or whatever it is they sell, they're just there and you can buy them. I don't think you have to do anything special. I've never been there. I've never really researched this topic very much, but just through existing space at the level I have for a long time, I've kind of picked up on that. That's how I think it works. Now, perhaps a cooler thing to you is the fact that designers will sometimes assign sets at that store, and if you just happen to find them, you can of course buy them. So you could get like signed Star Wars sets there. I see them pop up on eBay every once in a while, but you get like signed Star Wars sets there just by happenstance. So I would say keep an eye out for that too, and I really hope you enjoy your trip to Lego Mecca. Very weird question from Heisenberg. He says, do you do anything special to keep your hands clean or good looking for your videos? Since your hands are usually right up close in the reviews, I've always wondered if that's something you think about or take seriously. Other than trimming my nails, no. I have always considered myself very lucky, though, to not have very, like, hairy hands. Because I always thought if I was doing Lego reviews, like, you're holding sets and holding things up with 4K quality really close to the camera, it's unavoidable. Like, if you got some ugly hands, I know it's kind of a problem. I have thought about this, not in the way that you're thinking about it, I think. I've just thought about, oh man, I kind of lucked out on the hands, jeans thing. Why are we talking about this? This is an absurd topic, but yeah, no, I don't do anything special other than just exist and cut my fingernails. So I've gotten very fortunate there.
There we go. It has a lot of its back end on there. That's really good.
Over the years, but this might be the best version that I've ever had. I don't use a standard PlayStation or Xbox controller because I play competitively, or I used to play a lot more competitively, and so I'm just kind of stuck in that. Like I'll always use like a better controller with more paddles to be able to do more things on Call of Duty. So that is why I have a non-standard PlayStation or Xbox controller that you see. Beach says, if you think you'd ever do more gym/workout content, I know you have your blog page. From what I remember, you don't have much on that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to film in the gym. I think it's weird. Like, nothing wrong if that's what people do or whatever. Like, I get it. But I think I would feel so awkward
Well, yeah.
myself.
So we're gonna end off the stream here. This has been part 9, and we've got the back paneling done, which looks good. But I'll see you guys to that one tomorrow.